Everybody, Sly here, and today I'm going to be doing a reaction video. This one, especially, is the Metal Gear Solid briefing cutscenes. Now, like I mentioned before on the last video I did, that I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of Metal Gear Solid for the 25th anniversary of the game. And right now I got the briefing cutscenes, which is pretty much all of the breathing cutscene of it and that. But anyways, without further ado, let's react to it and let's see how the story goes. And yeah, let's see what happens. Here we go.
It's been a long time, Snake.
I should have known you were behind this, Colonel.
That's no way to greet an old war buddy, Snake.
What do you want from me?
I just invited you here so we could have a talk.
Invited? That's what you call sending armed soldiers after me?
Sorry if they were a little rough with you. But we've got a serious situation here. Only you can get us out of it.
I'm retired from Foxhound.
And this is
You're not my commander anymore, and I don't have to take orders from you or anyone else.
You will take these orders. I know it.
Excuse me.
Who's this?
Dr. Naomi Hunter. She's chief of Foxhound's medical staff and an expert in gene therapy.
Are you military?
No, civilian. I've been sent here from ATGC. Pleasure to meet you, Snake. Don't worry, this injection won't hurt a bit.
What is that?
What's the shot for?
What's wrong? You don't like shots?
I don't like shots, period.
Snake, listen up. It all went down 5 hours ago. Heavily armed soldiers occupied Shadow Moses Island, a remote island off the coast of Alaska.
What soldiers?
Next Generation Special Forces, led by members of Unit Foxhound. They've presented Washington with a single demand, and they say that if it isn't met, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
Oh god.
A nuclear weapon?
I'm afraid so.
Nuclear weapon.
You see, the island is the site of a secret nuclear weapons disposal facility.
Foxhound hijacking a nuclear weapon?
Now you understand how serious the situation is.
I guess so.
You'll have 2 mission objectives.
Ew.
First, you're to rescue the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson.
Okay.
And the president of Arms Tech, Kenneth Baker. They're both being held as hostages.
Huh.
Those are some heavy-duty hostages.
Doesn't sound
Secondly, you're to investigate whether or not the terrorists have the ability to launch a nuclear strike.
Oh, the damn
and
terrorists.
stop them if they do.
Definitely.
Any questions, Snake?
Questions? I haven't even said whether I'd accept this mission.
Well, you
I
can
guess
make
you
up
have
your
no
mind
choice,
after
though,
you
Snake.
hear more about the situation.
Let's hear it.
Tell me about the nuclear weapon disposal facility.
The disposal facility includes a hardened underground base. Even with our most advanced intelligence gathering equipment, we can't tell what's happening inside.
So someone needs to penetrate, gather intelligence, and report back. Sounds like a spy movie. What's the insertion
Sounds like a
method?
spy movie.
Well, an air insertion is impossible.
Not with this storm going on.
We'll approach the disposal facility by sub.
Approach?
Yes, within a few miles of it. The facility is equipped with sonar detection capabilities. They'd be able to hear our engine or propeller noise.
And then?
We'll launch a one-man SDV.
Launch?
Same as a torpedo, only this has no propulsion device of its own. After the SDV gets as close as it can, dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim.
You want me to swim in sub-zero Alaskan water?
Oh, it's
Don't
in
worry.
Alaska.
That suit represents the latest advances in polythermal technology. The nuclear weapons disposal facility covers the whole island. I'll instruct you by codec after you reach your target.
Anyone going with me?
As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission.
Weapons and equipment OSP?
Yes, this is a top-secret black op. Don't expect any official support.
The chief of DARPA and the president of an arms manufacturing company. What business did they have at a nuclear weapons disposal facility?
The truth is that secret exercises were being conducted at the
Oh,
time the
Arctic
terrorist group
president.
attacked.
Must be extremely important exercises if those two were directly involved. Were they testing some kind of new advanced weapon?
I'm not privy to that information.
Do we know exactly where they're being held?
The DARPA chief has also been injected with the mini-transmitter. As you get closer, you should be able to pick up his location on your radar.
Do they really have the ability to launch a nuclear missile?
They say they do. They even gave us the serial number of the warhead they plan to use.
Was the number confirmed?
I'm afraid so.
Oh my.
At the very least, they've got their hands on a real nuclear warhead.
Isn't there some kind of safety device to prevent this type of terrorism?
Well, that has to
Yes. Every missile and warhead in our arsenal is equipped with a PAL, which uses a discrete detonation code.
PAL.
be. Ow.
Permissive Action Link. The safety control system built into all nuclear weapons systems.
Right.
But even so, we can't rest easy.
Why not?
Because the DARPA chief knows the detonation code.
Oh.
But even if they have a nuclear warhead, it must have been removed from its missile. All the missiles on these disposal sites are supposed to be dismantled. It's not that easy to get your hands on an ICBM.
True.
That used to be true. But since the end of the Cold War, you can get anything if you have enough money and the right connections.
Figured.
So what exactly are they demanding?
A person's remains.
Remains.
That's right. To be more accurate, cell specimens which contain the individual's genomic information.
Cell specimens. Why would they want that?
The terrorists need them. You see, these next-generation special forces have been strengthened through gene therapy.
Strengthened?
You've heard of the Human Genome Project. They've been mapping the human genome, and they're nearly finished. Following up on this research, the military has been working towards identifying those genes which are responsible for making effective soldiers.
Oh.
There are
Copies.
genes that do that?
Yes. And using
Like
gene
clones.
therapy, they're able to transplant those genes into regular soldiers.
Gene therapy?
I'll explain this part.
Okay.
With gene therapy, we can remove those genes which we know may lead to sickness or disease, and at the same time splice in genes with beneficial effects, such as resistance to cancer, for example.
In other words, we can overcome all sorts of genetic diseases, and at the same time add genetic characteristics as desired.
Okay. And so if you knew what genes were responsible for making the perfect soldier, you could implant them in the same way, right?
Yes, we could.
But it all depends on being able to isolate and identify those soldier genes.
And in order to do that, it's helpful if you can study the genomic information of one of the greatest soldiers ever.
One of the greatest soldiers ever?
The man they call the greatest warrior of the 20th century.
You don't mean Big Boss.
That's
Big
right.
Boss.
We've been working feverishly to identify
about
the
Big
genes
Boss?
responsible for his incredible
From the
combat
other
skill.
Metal Gear.
So far, we've discovered about 60 of the so-called
The
soldier
original, I should say.
genes.
So his body was recovered after all.
Yes, and his cells
was
have remained
dead.
frozen in a cryo chamber. His genomic information is a priceless treasure to mankind.
Priceless to the military, perhaps.
His body was burned severely, but it was possible to restore his DNA profile from just a single strand of his hair.
You people are amazing. And then you're gonna transplant those genes into soldiers?
Yes. We'll use a
Wow,
process that
clone
I
them.
discovered called gene targeting. The strongest soldiers don't become what they are by acquiring their skills through training or experience. We now know that hereditary factors are far more crucial for creating superior soldiers.
Snake, we can't give them his body. It's potentially more dangerous than all the nuclear warheads on that island put together.
I hear the terrorists are calling themselves
I still
the
think that
Sons
nuclear
of Big
warhead's
Boss.
still dangerous.
The sons of Big Boss?
Sons of Big Boss.
What's the time limit?
24 hours. They say they'll launch after 24 hours.
Do they say what the target will be?
So far, they haven't mentioned the target.
When did the countdown start?
5 hours ago.
19 hours. Is he completely naked?
Colonel, who are you speaking for?
Naturally, I'm representing the U.S. government.
So who's in supervisory control of this operation?
The President of the United States.
Of course.
Which means that the President must be meeting with his top aides in the map room about now, huh?
No, at this point, they're still video conferencing with each other.
Right.
If that's a real nuclear warhead, shouldn't they issue a COG?
Not yet. The Secretary of Defense has operational control and is fully aware of the situation. After you infiltrate, if you determine they possess nuclear launch capabilities, a COG will be issued.
Well, if they haven't relocated to the nuclear shelter under Mount Washington, I suppose there isn't that much reason to worry yet. Is the National Security Agency in on this?
Yes. So is the DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency.
The DIA? I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this.
I'm not gonna remember all
They'll
of
be
this,
sending us some support.
We don't need desk jockeys. We need a nuclear weapons specialist.
Of course.
Right.
A nuclear weapons specialist has already been assigned to us.
So I get advice.
We need backup from a specialist. I'm just an amateur when it comes to nuclear weapons.
Same here.
I know. That's why I've requested the assistance of a military analyst named Nastasha Romanenko. She'll be providing you backup by Kodak.
A female analyst?
She's built up an impressive record as an advisor for the Nuclear Emergency Search Team. Contact her if you have any questions. She's also an expert on high-tech weapons.
Where's she working from?
At her home in Los Angeles.
Right.
California. Seems like a million miles away.
Sounds like it.
How well armed are these terrorists? I know there was an exercise going on at the time they revolted.
They're heavily armed, I'm afraid.
What about their battle experience?
The 6 members of Foxhound in charge are all hardened veterans.
6?
They're tough enough to eat nails and ask for seconds.
I wouldn't expect anything less from Foxhound.
The others are next-generation special forces. They're not your average grunts either.
Right.
Tell me about these next-generation special forces.
Right.
They started out as an anti-terrorist special ops unit, made up of former members of biochem units, technical escort units, and the nuclear emergency search team. Their purpose was to respond to threats involving next-generation weapons of mass destruction,
Wow.
including NBC weapons.
Until they were added, that is.
Who's they?
These guys didn't start out as regular army.
Looks like a pretty international group.
Sounds like
Mercenaries?
Yeah, and it gets worse.
Oh.
Most of them were from a merc agency that I think you're familiar with. They were part of Big Boss's private guard. And after Big Boss went down, the military just bought out all their contracts.
Outer heaven.
After that, they were merged with our own VR unit, Force 21, and retrained. If you ask me, these so-called next-generation special forces should be called simulated soldiers. They have no real battle experience.
Video game players, huh?
Don't forget they've all been strengthened with gene therapy. They carry genes which make them excellent soldiers. Don't get careless just because they don't have much experience.
We'll be the judge of
I
that.
thought using genetically modified soldiers was prohibited by international law.
Yes, but those are just declarations, not actual treaties.
The interesting thing is that nearly every member of the unit conspired in this attack.
How could an entire unit be subverted to rebellion?
They're calling it a revolution.
Since they all went through the same gene therapy, they probably felt closer than brothers. They see the unit as their only family.
The sons of Big Boss. But if they were regular army, they must have been interviewed periodically by army counselors.
According to their files, they all got straight A's on their psychological tests.
Straight
They all
A's.
seemed like fine, upstanding, patriotic soldiers.
But they all took part in the uprising?
No, several people didn't show up on the day of the exercise. That's why there was a resupply of troops.
Was there any sign recently that something might be wrong?
There was a report a month ago that they were acting strangely.
Apparently they consulted classified information about the soldier genes and performed their own gene therapy experiments.
They can do that even without you?
Well, our gene therapy process is almost completely automated. And besides that, they're all geniuses with IQs over 180.
108. Over
Even the
108.
existence of this genome army is a national secret of the highest order. We've been hoping to investigate this thing quietly and deal with it behind closed doors.
Yeah.
High-Tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound. Your former unit, and one that I was a commander of.
Huh.
An elite group combining firepower and expertise. They're every bit as good as when I was commanding them.
Right.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of Foxhound involved in this terrorist activity.
Let's see.
Psycho Mantis, with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, the beautiful and deadly sharpshooter.
It is beautiful.
Decoy Octopus, Master of Disguise. Vulcan Raven, Giant and Shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, Specialist in Interrogation, and a formidable gunfighter.
Looks like a lovely bunch of folks.
I
Too
bet you
bad
the
we'll be
shaman
meeting under
one.
these circumstances.
The Vulcan
And
Raven
finally,
was very hard.
in charge of them, Foxhound Squad Leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake?
Yes,
Again.
and you're the only person who can stand
Maybe
against
I
him.
am Snake. Maybe I am Solid Snake.
Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake.
Is he like a
The
brother
man
or
with the
something?
same codename as you.
Tell me what you know.
He fought in the Gulf War as a teenager, the youngest person in the SAS.
In the 30s.
His job was
British.
to track down and destroy mobile Scud
70s.
missile launching platforms. You were there too, I believe.
Huh.
Didn't you infiltrate Western Iraq with a platoon of Green Berets?
I was just a kid myself back then.
The details are classified, but it seems that originally he penetrated the Middle East as a sleeper for the SIS.
180. 7
He was a
languages.
spy for the British Secret Intelligence Service?
But he never once showed his face in Century House.
Huh.
He was taken prisoner in Iraq, and after that there was no trace of him for several years.
He's been missing
After
for
you
those years.
retired, he was rescued and became a member of Foxhound.
I thought that by the time I left, they were no longer using code names.
I don't know his real name. That information is so highly
Probably
classified
doesn't
that
have
even
a
I
real
can't
name.
look at
It's
it.
just Liquid Snake.
Here's a photo of him. Pretty shocking, huh? His skin tone is different, but otherwise you two are exact duplicates.
You look like the same.
I have a twin?
I don't know the details, but it seems so.
Huh.
That's why we really need you for this mission.
Very interesting.
You're the only one who can beat him. Now that I've
His
met
own
you, I
twin.
know. You've got something that he doesn't.
What?
I can see it in your eyes.
Why don't I find that thought more comforting? Colonel, I don't work for the government anymore. Let me go back to Twin Lakes.
Why, Snake? Is your life in
Guess he
Alaska
doesn't wanna
all
do
that
it, Snake.
great?
There's a dog sled race this week. Next Saturday, I have to be in Anchorage.
Really?
Yeah, Iditarod? The longest sled race in the world? When did you become a dog musher?
Right now, my 50 Huskies are my only family. I've got to
50
take care of them.
Huskies? Damn.
Don't worry about your dogs.
Why?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, Snake, but this vessel is headed for the Bering Sea. There's no room for debate.
Oh no.
I told you, even if I do owe you, I don't owe anything to this army or this country.
You will accept this assignment.
Why should I be stupid enough to do that? I'm no patriot.
Snake, there's enough dirt in your file from your days as an agent to keep you in the stockade until you're a very old man.
Oh, I see. Blackmail.
No, Snake. I prefer to look at it as helping you come to a decision more easily. But anyway, I know you better than that. You take this assignment even without the threat.
Why do you say that?
You're a natural-born soldier. You're not the grow old gracefully type. It's the same for all of us who've seen real action. The only place we can feel truly alive is on the battlefield. I'm a soldier too. I know those feelings of powerlessness, frustration that you feel
Wow,
every
he's
day.
very passionate,
You've tried to
Kurt.
play the Boy Scout out there in Alaska, but you can't race dogs in the snow forever. Why
Wow.
don't you come back to us and be a soldier again?
Damn, it sounds like a movie.
You think my life is some kind of a joke?
Snake,
movie line?
I just want to give you back your purpose in life.
Purpose of...
Colonel, you're retired. Why are you involved in this?
Yeah.
Because there aren't many people who know Foxhound as well as I do.
Is that really the only reason?
I've been soldiering for a long time. I don't know anything else. I guess even though I'm getting a little
No, it
old,
has to
I
be
still
more than
love
that.
to be in the field.
Colonel, you're a lousy liar. Tell me the real reason.
Yeah.
Okay, Snake. Sorry. I'll be frank. A person very dear to me is being held hostage.
Who is it?
My niece,
Your
Meryl.
niece.
What was your niece doing here?
Yeah.
Several soldiers were reported missing the day of the revolt. And my niece was one of those called in as an emergency replacement.
Huh.
She looks like you.
Damn.
She's my little
She's
brother's
more
girl.
hot than,
He died in the Gulf War. And since then, I've been
that,
watching after
the other
her.
woman.
Personal motive, Colonel. That's not very soldierly.
I'm retired. I'm just an old man now.
A wolf.
And I'm your friend.
Since when are we friends?
Yeah.
I've thought of us as friends since the fall of Zanzibar.
Those approaches.
With my personality, I don't have too many friends.
That's what I trust about
neither.
you.
We
It's
all
what
the
makes
same.
you human. Please, Snake. Save my niece, Meryl.
All right. But I have two conditions.
Name them.
One, no more secrets between us. I want complete disclosure at all times. And two,
Big
I'll
time.
only accept orders directly from you, Colonel. No cutoffs involved, okay?
Agreed. That's why I was called. But one thing,
What?
What?
I'm not a colonel anymore. Just a retired old warhorse.
I understand,
Okay.
Colonel. That doctor, is she part of this operation too?
She was in charge of Foxhound's gene therapy. She knows more about those men than anyone else.
Right.
You mean you've seen them naked?
Make
Really?
no mistake, I'm not a nurse. I'm a scientist.
By the way, what was that injection for?
It's a
Yeah.
combination of nanomachines and an anti-freezing peptide so that your blood and other bodily fluids don't freeze, even at subarctic temperatures.
Nanomachines.
Not just one kind, either. There are different types which will replenish the supply of adrenaline, nutrition, and sugar in your bloodstream.
Oh, so he doesn't have
Now
to
I don't
eat
have to
as
worry about food.
I also put some nootropics in there.
Say what?
much.
Nootropics.
Nootropic?
A class of drugs which will help improve your mental functioning.
It'll make me smarter, huh?
But the focus-
Anything else?
Yes, Benzedrine. It's a type of
Benzedrine.
stimulant. It'll keep you alert and responsive for 12 straight hours.
That was quite a cocktail. Anything else in there?
Those nanomachines will also keep your Codex batteries charged up.
Well, I guess I can call
makes
you
him a
when I'm ready to go on a diet.
You're welcome.
I need to borrow your scissors.
Well,
What are
I
you going to do?
guess- I guess he's.
Don't
up
worry,
for it.
just gonna clean myself up a little.
Huh?
Oh, he's gonna give himself a haircut.
I don't want to be mistaken for the leader of the terrorists.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. That was that. Well, I think we have our hands full on this one, folks. I'm not gonna remember all of this, but it will come to me while I'll start playing this Metal Gear Solid tomorrow. That's deep. So we gotta remember we got 2 mission objectives. We got to rescue the 2 hostages, and then to see whether or not the nuclear warheads are gonna destroy the world or anything. But anyways, yeah, I got some thinking to do on this one. I bet you this is gonna be a very long playthrough, especially if this game is gonna be puzzles and trying to defeat the bosses with tactics and tricks and stuff like that. Weapons, the whole 9 yards. And then also we're gonna save Meryl, the Colonel's niece. I believe I have a twin. Liquid Snake. Liquid and Solid. How ironic. And then of course the other few members of the Foxhound. I got a lot of things. I got a lot to do. But anyways, I just can't believe it. I think I got my hands full of this one. Oh well, we'll find out tomorrow when I play Metal Gear Solid for the 25th anniversary. But yeah. I have nothing else to say except for wish me luck if I'm playing this game tomorrow. But anyways, if you guys and girls enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button for more videos, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos to come. So, that's all the time I have with this video. My name is Sly, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me reacting to Metal Gear Solid, all the briefing. Until next time, sleep tight.